Hi, good evening. It's really strange day. It was a really strange day today, and yeah, I'm feeling a bit strange. Uh, lots of energies. It's an eclipse day today. Yesterday was loads of wonderful energies. Today, very strange. It's also election day here, so yeah, there are a lot of strange activities around in the upper planes and um, electronically, and then I've been having difficulties with my technologies as I am at the moment. So yeah, again, I don't know why, but I have been feeling really unwilling to make this video. Like not as much as last week, but I've been feeling strange every time I have to sit down and make a video. So yeah, I'm sorry about if the quality is not as usual, because I have been feeling much better the last couple of weeks than I am today, because it's really something strange going on. I am not looking like myself and projecting myself today again, but I will speak about the reasons for that tonight. So last week, what I turned out, it turned out that I spoke about divine masculine. I didn't plan to speak about that. I planned to speak about something else, and I wanted to speak about the cosmic programs, the space programs that are existing on this plane. I wanted to speak actually about the Galactic Federation of Light and my connection to it, more so than the space programs, because my knowledge of that is limited. And I have mentioned some sessions that I've had where I thought that it's a parallel reality that I'm observing. It turned out that that was something else. I don't know if you have heard, I mean, you probably have heard the 2020 program or the Super Soldier program. There's some um, people speak about, like who have participated in it, who are former soldiers and contractors, and I don't know how, I mean, there's sort of kind of a whistleblowers. I'm a little bit suspicious about those things, but I've had clients speaking about it. I have listened to other colleagues who had clients speak about it, and I discovered that I myself am a part of was a part of that. Which what this basically means is that everything else that I spoke about, when your consciousness is being trapped, is it's being used in different ways, and this is one of the ways where you go and do things for the space programs, but the military space programs that do exist, but you don't have a memory of it because of the technology that is involved in it, and because basically you sign contract with them. It is, as far as I know, and I don't know enough yet, it's not the same as my memories of Galactic Federation of Light. It's something else. These are, I mean, alien beings, and you can have a completely different form when you go there. But I had what I remember is a mission to Saturn. Mission to Saturn, where I was fleet commander, one of the fleet commanders of a federation. I don't know which one, which federation. Was it the same one or the other one or some other? I don't know. I cannot place a time on that. I couldn't. And it was in the rings of the Saturn that some colonies were. And you're basically working for you're not working for your government there. You're working for the beings, for other beings, for alien beings there, and you are a trade. You're traded. You're not employed by them. You are traded. You are sold. Uh, I know exactly what my job was there because I mean I had a family. That was my counterpart. We had a family there. We lived there. But there was a mutiny of some sort, and along with others, I don't know who others are. We started that mutiny because we were the fleet commanders, and mm, I was wounded in one of the battles with alien beings. I think alien beings, and I'm not sure which beings. Uh, whether the reptilian ones or the insectoids, because I've been seeing a whole lot of insectoids lately. So I was wounded here, and I've had problems with my this shoulder. It becomes, it goes up, out, and comes back sometimes. He died without mission. Uh, don't ask me how things happen that part of your consciousness dies somewhere and then it comes back to you. I mean, I already told you that there is a crazy technology that we know nothing about, and I really cannot tell you much about it. But what I can tell you is that um, I had a client recently who with a session exactly about this, and it's on a different. It was about her past life. It was not about this life, because I mean, um, um, there are probably a lot of things that people are not ready to discover about this life, like I have discovered. I mean, what I'm telling you and what I'm discovering and sharing now with you, it didn't just happen overnight. I'm working on my own issues for around 20 years, and it's only this year that I've become ready internally. And I was sort of pushed in it. I didn't say, oh, I'm ready to find about this. So yeah, I'm telling you things from personal experience, yes, and some from my clients' experiences. But what I've discovered is usually when a client comes with a topic that they need to work on, it's either because of the connection or because of the similar issue that you have, and you need to become aware of in yourself. Sometimes it's only enough that you become aware and and look at it, and then something happens. But sometimes you need to put up a little bit more of psychological work around it. So this particular client, given I'm not going to be repeating everything that I already mentioned in previous videos, but sort of her session was a confirmation about everything that I've told you before, because she sort of had memories. In that past life, she was a child, a 5-year-old child boy, whose parents were killed because they were well-off family, but they were um, thorn in the eye of some authorities or mm, elite masonry family, what she called them, and she family was killed and she was sold. She said she was sold by Catholic Church and some of the professionals, uh, and then they were taken. She was taken along with other children, uh, up to 5 years old. I don't know if they were older, to another planet, which she said it's Aldebaran, and they were used as slaves there. They worked for them. We don't know exactly what did I do for them. Uh, but she was used as a battery. She was um, producing energy for them, and they would take energy from her through rituals and stuff. What kind of rituals and what exactly was happening in those rituals, we don't know, because we're not we're not allowed to know. Not that we were not allowed, it's just that was probably too much for the client, so we weren't told that. And what happened is that she would perform, and then she would be taking energy, and then she needed to rest and recuperate and regain strength and energy again, and then it would happen again and again and again. And they would also be using small children up to 3 years old for rituals, also from earthlings, and they would sacrifice them ritually and take their energies. And when they wanted to uh, pull you further into their order, because this is the priesthood of that um, planet. And the planet itself, was she said, was divided into two parts, and one part is doing it, the other is not. But they're not mingling in between each other, and they're not doing this to each other, nor is any other planet participating in this. So no other alien civilization was being used and sacrificed and abused, only Earthlings for our capacity, because of our capacity to create energy and electricity. So they are those children were sacrificed, and when they want to pull you further in it and want to make you one of their own, they make you do sacrifices for them. So she refused to kill a child, and she was punished for that. She was punished by uh, being killed. She was buried alive, and it was ritual killing, because part of her punishment was coming back to Earth and giving her karma, and giving her karma, very difficult karma and very difficult life. She had very difficult life experiences in this lifetime, and God knows how many others. Yeah, that continues, actually continues. And this for me was a confirmation of everything that I've told you previously. And it also came when I was finding out about these informations about the program 2020, and when I was actually becoming aware that program is a trade program. We are it's a like business. It's a business program. So basically, when you're under contract, you're under 20 years contract. There are, I think, also 40 years contract. How do they make you sign a contract with them? How do they pick you in it? But usually, from what I've understood later on, you have to be sold in it. You're sold as a child or in previous lives, because there are people around me that I've done sessions with, or my friends who said that they're in the same program but from a past life. So they probably give you offers and they trick you. How that happens, I don't know. And how it happens that they continue with that, uh, because eventually that contract expires. It's probably that they target you and attack you. From what I've seen that is happening to me. Why I think this is happening to me? I mean, with this year, with this birthday, my 20-year service, as I found out in that session, was ending. And oddly enough, I have a story with Saturn in my chart, my natal chart of Indian horoscope, British, or I don't know the word in English, so yeah, you will know. And it's a 19 or 20 years cycle, and I was getting out of that cycle. So it enhanced by the end of it. Uh, yeah, so I guess this is my story and my learning about sovereignty. And this is why I'm able to speak about it like this. So, yes, it sounds a little bit crazy what I'm telling you, and it sounds a little bit, right? I mean, who thinks about that? But actually, it's real because it's not. I mean, I have heard too many stories about this to think that it's imagined and it doesn't exist. So yeah, I when I was speaking about my divine sovereign decree, I said that I saw myself walking through some uh, dimensions and spaces with some beings, and I don't know how I ended up there. Well, I found out. I found out. I was sold. I was sold when I was well before I was born. I think possibly in previous lives, and this is why it has always everything has taken so long to discover. I in this lifetime, and this happened in this lifetime, not past life. Uh, I was sold by my great grandmother, paternal grandmother, great grandmother, that I've never met, and it happened before I was born. So she knew I was coming, and she knew what are my abilities and what am I supposed to do. And she's basically a cold-hearted bitch. She didn't want me in her lineage. She wanted to be the only one with abilities and the most powerful one. So she didn't want me to be born in that lineage. And this is a great grandmother by my biological father. And I've never met the woman, and until a week ago, I didn't even know that she existed. But she has influenced my life so much. And how did this come about? How did I find out about it? Because like I said, when you're working on your divine decree, you have to, when you're working on yourself and you discover things, you have to uh, claim your you can claim your corrupt part of your soul, and you have to do it at some point, because if you're sovereign, if you're the ruler of your dominion, which is a multidimensional dominion, your soul, uh, there bound to be parts of you somewhere who have done some nasty things at some point. And I was ready to discover that, and I discovered some things, but I was not ready to discover something like this. I mean, I'm not telling you about me being an incarnation of somebody who was bad in a past life. This is I was She was alive when I was born. This is the part of me that was part of the soul, of the soul group, that is that was uh, corrupt. So when you get to have a part of you that is corrupt, when you claim your sovereignty, you get to tell them, I'm the boss here, and I'm telling you what to do. Like I said, uh, you're not running rampant around, but you're going to be recycled. You're going to go for a healing or whatever that is needed to do for you. So, like you would punish a child, they done something bad, and they have to take the consequences of their own behavior. So, no, not somebody else. They're taking the consequences of their own behavior. So quite possibly that she has given me her karma. I don't know about that. I haven't checked. Uh, but what has happened is that she's been the being that's been attacking me and she has brought other beings. So she's not alive. She probably is not alive for a long time now, but yeah, she was not on an earthly plane. She was off somewhere. I don't know what was she promised, but she was a being, not a light being. And she was summoned. She was being summoned, and she worked with the incarnate people here. That they formed an alliance long time ago, and that alliance existed until today. And this is what I'm dismantling now, because with having my sovereignty now, again, the other ones are not a part of my soul group. So, but like I said, once they connect to my energy, and especially if they don't want to stop, they have to follow my rules. And my rules are that they are going to take the consequences of their own behavior. Sort of, they're going to feel their own medicine on their own skin. So, unless they don't want to do that, they better stop. And some did, because they understand what it means that you're under divine jurisdiction, because they're just hired to do that, and they're completely impersonal, and they're doing what their job is. They understand contract, so they understand what this means. But there are others who don't, obviously, so some things have to be stated and said. So why am I saying all this about this? Because when I spoke uh, last time that my shield has been stretched, and that was the being that used to be my great grandmother, who was being summoned and sent to me by somebody else, a group of people. She has been using my abilities because she has got well, part of them in that previous lifetime, long time ago. So yeah, I think this is part of it, how I ended up in these programs, in these I don't know, MP Ultra programs, the Masonic group programs, and the everything that I've spoken to you about because I have been sold. She has been a part of my member of a family in other lifetimes, and she has been somebody who has betrayed me before. I can't even say that I am betrayed in this lifetime because I've never met the person, and for me that I I don't have any emotions regarding that. But it's still, it's a member of a family, and you can imagine how far that goes, how senseless, and how um, evil, out of heart, and only power-based issues these are. If you can be sold for powers, money, and status, and passion, and whatever they can promise to somebody. But I mean, that contract, God knows what that contract has had in itself, because it lasted for way too long. So anyway, that's all I know about her. I've asked for her to be removed from this plane, and to never be able to reach me ever again. And as far as I know, you can lose stripes when you um, contract with beings who are well, I'm not going to call this the other side, because I don't want to speak about great separation, but that's how it is in some planes. But I'm speaking about the 4D plane, because all of this is, well, 5D. There is 5D, and she was a 5D being, actually. She was not a 4D being, she was a 5D being. But usually, when you're up there, you don't meet, you don't mingle, you don't meet. But obviously, her mission was to stop me from ascending. And, anyways, uh, this is actually how the divine sovereign decree and being given your sovereignty is powerful. How powerful it is, because you can ask, once you realize, not realize, once you claim your self back, your property, if that is a property at all, once you claim your energy back, and once you align with your soul and your true guide, your divine team, your soul group. I mean, um, I was sort of erased from my, not from the soul group, but from some planes of my soul group, and I'll come to that, how that happened. And once you come to there and accept mission, I can't say. I mean, I would say accept who you really are. I cannot really say that I have completely understood all of it. Obviously, I've accepted it. So once you accept it, you and you have to claim your corrupt parts back, because you have to heal them and you have to integrate them. And if you cannot integrate, obviously they have to be healed before being integrated. So I usually have them pass through Christ energy, Christ consciousness energy, because this is my group. So part of the soul group that I am. And we are all part of the Christ consciousness, but some are already there and some are not. I'll come to that. So yeah, you can I won't say you can order them around. You can command them. You can command them what to do, because they are breaching the jurisdiction of the divine and the divine law. And that does exist. No matter how you think that it doesn't, it exists. So if you're a part of the soul group and you have contracted with beings who are creating destruction, and the other part of the soul group is not doing that, and when you are in souls do not plot against each other. Souls do not do things that are destructive to each other, and they will not ask for anybody to be destroyed or punished, but they will ask for somebody to be healed. They will send healing, they will send information. Eventually, they will accept that somebody needs to learn a lesson, so you can actually lose strikes. You can lose strikes, and I've seen it. I've had sessions like that. I've seen it in some other clients. You can lose your colors. You can descend. You can descend, and you can be sent to another plane or to another soul group that you fit in better, because you need to learn your lesson. Like I said, nobody avoids karma. Karma is not a punishment, it's a lesson. It's a cause and effect. And yes, if you can transcend it with your actions and your deeds and your heart, which requires a lot of humility also, and a lot of understanding of difficult issues, a lot of facing of difficult truths, but you cannot trick it. I mean, you can try, and obviously, all of the stories that I'm telling you about is because they're trying, and this is one of the things that are promised, that they will avoid karma. But that's exactly when you cannot avoid it. sooner or later, everything comes in a full circle, and it's like a full blown. I would not want to be in the skin of some people. So may God help them, because nobody else can then. And it's all about our choices, like I've already spoken. So, anyways, to come back to to I don't know anything more about the Saturn mission. I don't know anything more about my story about my great grandmother. Know what we were in past lives. I really didn't research that any further, because I was a bit shocked. I was shocked to find out that. So what has happened is that in Atlantis, where I was a teacher, a priestess, and this is what I found out actually in my very first session for when I was in training for hypnotherapy. That I was a priestess with my counterpart. We were priesthood, a part of a circle of priesthood, and uh, we were not the only ones. But the thing that I'm telling you about, I think, happened only to us, because um, everybody has a different story. Yeah. I don't know what that depends on. Anyways, we were with some rituals. We were protecting the planet. As I said, I didn't know which planet at that time. And because we were counterparts and in union, but we were one being. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain that, because the existence was not only physical, but it was um, we were aware of it, of the other planes that were not physical. So all those planes were working in unison. So we were um, in harmony and synchronized, and with all the others who created the circle we were protecting. And there was an invasion of some alien beings uh, who wanted to conquer uh, that plane. I don't know whether whole of Earth or just that part. And while we were in unison and in harmony, so their tactics was to divide and conquer. And I've had many sessions for myself afterwards with a similar story, with similar beings or same beings with same tactic, divide and conquer. And I did not end up well in those stories. So they attacked us with their technology, which was something like nanotechnology or something. I saw arrows, but those were programs. Those were programs, and those were actually, like what I found out later, like actually living beings. 'Cause I mean, I mentioned that when I signed the decree that some devices were removed from me, but some of it were conscious, were beings. And as I saw them, those beings were um, bugs, looked like bugs. I don't know if these are artificial intelligence, or they look like horrible bugs. And the last one that was removed from me was from my hip lately. Uh, Yeah. What is the program actually that they carry? I mean, most of it they create separation, and they take your energy, and they're there to extract life from your energy. But they also create bodily issues. But obviously, that was there not only in this lifetime, but in other lifetimes, because in the energy, it's like an infiltration in the soul, in the energy, and it creates all these stories probably that I'm telling you about. So you create them. You you create that reality that they send you through this that are written in these programs. That's the best of my understanding so far. So yeah, my counterpart got one in his eye, in his right eye. So that created a memory loss, and I don't know exactly what happened with him because I don't know that part of the story. It's not mine. So he has forgotten about me. He has forgotten about me, and I have been told things afterwards. I was captured, and I have been told things that he has forgotten about me, that he has betrayed me. I have been made to believe that he created a diversion, and that he told me, and that he left me, and sort of chose somebody else, and gave up on me, whatever, betrayed me. Yes, I was betrayed. I was betrayed by many people in Atlantis, and that story that I still don't know the whole story is a very big. It's a story of about very big injustice that has been done to me because I have been completely erased from memories of many people, and from everything that I've done has been inverted and made to believe as if I've done bad things, which I haven't. And I said I was erased from history, but as I mean, some things sound just like I don't know what I'm talking about, so I don't know which history. So yeah. Anyways, what else happened is that they created a divide between our students. We were and some students were part of the family, so uh, it they created a diversion in the family group. So they fought each other. Most of his students became corrupt, and they fought my students, and which means that they were also a bit corrupt because if they weren't, they wouldn't be fighting. But they probably thought they were defending themselves. Anyways, I was captured and I was put in a cave, and I said that I consciously left my body and went to some other dimensions to change the story. But recently, I found out that they actually ritually ate me. They ate me. They killed me ritually. They ate me, and they were using my abilities. And they my left hand, and they kept it, and they were using it to take you know my powers and work with them. And yeah, this is just another adding up to the story of my of my hands. So yeah, those people who were invoking my great grandmother in this lifetime, I identified five of them. Three of them were actually actively doing it in this lifetime. The rest, I don't know. But I think it was at least 10 of them. The rest, I don't know. Maybe they're probably not important. Those three of them actually divided my powers. This is why they are important. The others didn't. The others didn't. Uh, Stealing of my light language happened in this lifetime. I don't know if it happened then. And I don't know if those participated in it. That was because I was working on retrieving my powers, uh, because they were also taken away from me in this lifetime from the same actors. They created an alliance. Those three created an alliance, and they were the had master plans of everything that has happened. Quite possibly that they have done the same to him. I don't know about that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Um, I was really unable to research all this deeper because I felt so betrayed. I felt so much betrayal and mm, mm, I felt forgotten by him and betrayed by him, so I just couldn't research it properly. So somebody else had to tell me that actually that part didn't happen. So that was a program that was, I don't know, was it a program actually that was installed into me, but I was told that. I was made to believe that. And this followed me around. Like I said, all of the lives that I've been speaking about, I mean, I didn't end up so well. I was I'm speaking to you about ritual, satanic ritual abuse, and this is in this life. This is where it started. This is the sacrifice, and these abuse started in that lifetime. At least for me, I don't know if for everybody else, but it started there for me. And the corruptibility of some people started there. Like I said, I think it all starts in another planet, in the Orion Wars, but the Orion had wars with Lyrans, with Andromedans, with Pleiadians, so I can't really for now, put a finger where exactly my story with them starts. And what is the karma that I have from there? Because possibly that's something that I am feeling guilty because of starts there, so that I'm, allowing as a form of a repentance for something. But whatever that is, it was only one life, and it was way overpaid because what I'm sharing here are lifetimes of abuse, lifetimes of, and I'm talking about lifetimes with my divine counterpart. And actually, there were not so many of those, only a few, and only two or three of earthly plane. And in all of those, I didn't end up well. I really didn't end up well. And I've been sharing the story about my um, retrieving my soul parts and my power and my energy. But, actually, that's also the story of his abuse and his trauma, of his loss, because he lost his counterpart. This is the story of our separation, of how we ended up in separation, and not that we were not together in some other lives, but usually that didn't end up well. So possibly his program is his fear is that if he comes near me, something will happen to me again, maybe unconsciously and maybe consciously too. Maybe mm, he's been told something like that by the same actors. I don't know. So this is how actually my video ended up to be about divine masculine, because I became aware that he is very hurt, he's very traumatized with all this too, in a different way. But yeah, he has lost a lot. He is possibly in post-traumatic stress syndrome himself, Um, when a male becomes sad, invert this into something else. They become passive, they become inert, they indulge in many addictions to distract themselves. They use sex, they use alcohol, they use drugs, they use psychedelics, they use work, they use gambling, the women, partying, you name it, anything to distract them from feeling. Eventually, when they do feel, they become numb or drenched in this feeling of passivity. They're passive. They become passive. So they don't act and they don't react to nudges, guidance, ideas, and they also can become arrogant about all this, or to just give up. Then they become sick. Well, same like female too, but it goes in another circle. So I've been feeling passive last week, a lot more than this week though. But, everything that's been happening to me this week, especially, is on my right side. So I've been feeling strange, and my right side has been feeling strange, and I've been having this strange vibration around my head, especially today. And I'm really wondering how is he feeling, because most likely he's not feeling all that well. So that's one of the things when you're influenced. And also I'm telling you here about having to deal with some alien technology and alien beings. So God knows what else is there that I didn't discover. What I did discover is actually that one other actor, well, the other two actors that I became aware of. I mean, I know of them. I know one of them, who she is, and I've been mentioning her, what she did in that life, in this lifetime also. She has taken on my identity. She, in that lifetime, she has taken over my energy layers, and my the way I saw it is like you have coat, and then somebody infiltrates and like invades those codes with another code, and that's done with some technology. So they present themselves as you. I don't know, I don't understand that part very well, but that's what happened then on some other level. What has happened with my energy is that she has taken quite a bit of my layers, my auric layers. Um, so in all these other lifetimes, she has been presenting herself as me, and in a way, she took my place. So the best way that I understand is that it's an infiltration in the soul body, and I I can't explain it. So the layers that were auric layers that were taken away from me and dirtied and dimmed and tampered with were my third layer, my fifth layer, my sixth layer, my seventh layer, eighth, and 11th. I can't remember now what each of these layers does. Like the third layer is sort of your willpower and presenting as yourself, like a cloak, like energetic cloak that gives out uh, uh, this image of somebody else. So whenever she does something, and she does a lot energetically, she she's quite a trickster energetically, actually. When she does that, she has this cloak that presents her as something else, and then you can't really tell who she is. And that, I mean, she doesn't present herself as me, but it's this cloak, and it's quite possibly that that's been taken away from other people too, not only me. But this cloak gives off uh, some other energetic signature. You don't really know who that is. But I have been seeing her in dreams. So this is why I know who. I have been seeing, I mean, all this I know for a little bit when I'm telling you, but as I have been mentioning before, for the last 3 years, I know that she's doing something. I just couldn't, I just couldn't find proofs, and I didn't quite believe it. But now I have these proofs, and I had to hire professionals internationally to be helped. So yeah, that goes as far as back to Atlantis. So uh, as if when tapped into that consciousness and into those powers, uh, easily takes away the energy. I mean, here. So also, as far as I've been told, she knew like maybe even 5 years ago that I'm going to show up, and where am I going to show up, and who I am. Where I didn't even know that woman existed. So uh, it's a group. They work in as a group in a group, so they have information. It's a Masonic group. Uh, then it's something about my receiving of information and sending thoughts to me. Actually, I can send out thoughts. This is my ability. She took most of my abilities. She took them over. She took them over. Um, then the broadcasting abilities. So as if what I saw is that I had a wall around me. So when the energy that comes down to me, it doesn't broadcast. I don't broadcast myself. I broadcast something else because it hits a wall, and then it becomes distorted and something else. The energy that I receive is actually being siphoned. And she has taken 50% of my energy in this lifetime, not past. And then, oh, I can't, I really, there's a lot of what difference of what these layers do is that she connected me with some beings, and those beings were constantly coming to me and sent to me. They were distorting my dreams, uh, creating discord and disconnect with my guides, and they were sending me dreams and messing up with information in my dreams. And then my ability to direct my to command my light and to command my powers, my hand, um, that's been taken away also. um, I assume the ability to open and close portals, shape-shifting ability too. I said the ravens are clones, and most of them, but there's still one left, and that's her. uh, I've checked. Yeah, this is all because of the energy, taking off the energy. So the other man that was following me around, they work together, they know each other, and I don't want to go into that what the relationship now, because I know most of the things, and more than I'm actually saying. And I have, like I say, I've known this for the past 3 years. It's just that I've been hoping that, you know, it will be enough to send a small warning, to say something, to people come to their senses. But it looks like it's not. So yeah, I'm not the only one whom this has been happening from the same people. Possibly others that I don't know about. I don't know, relatives possibly, or hired. Whenever I discovered something, she would hire people, and they've done other things, not me. And it's all about, mostly it's all about the money. With me, it's about powers. And abilities, because I'm the divine mother priestess. I'm training for that, and I have been that before. In past lives, she wanted those abilities either for herself or a family member. Um, and she was a priestess for the group. And I think, whether she's that now or not, I mean, I cannot be completely sure about that. So I don't want to say something wrong. But I've been trying to say nicely I know things, and some things haven't stopped. They have gotten worse. And because I know I seek justice, and there are others who are also seeking justice from same beings, from same people, and quite a few of them. Uh, because the infiltration is so bad that they connect, they use for the energy quite a large group of people, and it's so positioned in such a way that they always have new ones. And I can't say that I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. But I really wanted to believe, and I really thought that this was a program, running on a program, but actually this is done pretty consciously. Him, I had a contract with him, and before contract before coming to here, that being is a trickster being, and he was there to teach me of beings like himself that exist. So we terminated that contract because that lesson has been learned, as far as I have understood, that's been honored. Uh, but she hasn't stopped, and as she was a family member in some previous lives, I don't know what my contract there is and what my learning is, but I wanted to give her an um, ability, an advancement to understand the lesson herself, and to help her. But as this is not happening, I am in the midst of understanding and terminating that contract, whatever that is. However, I'm not willing to wear and carry anybody else's karma, and I'm not accepting it. So I'm returning it all back, just in case if there was anything I agree on carrying, or maybe I didn't agree, but I was given. But in any case, this is the part of justice that I need, because I'm not accepting this. And she's been trained. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's a handler. And she knows exactly which buttons to press. She knows exactly where to look for weaknesses and where to plug in to take away the energy and to uh, um, completely disempower and destroy you. So this tells me something, and so this is not going to stop. So I'm doing this as a form of protection and as a form of saying that I know who I'm going to hold accountable for some things. Should anything be needed, and should anything, if anything happens to anyone, and I don't mean myself. Uh, that's one of the things. I really hope and that I will be able to say to myself that this is a part of the abuse and trauma and program. Possibly is, but it's been conscious for quite a while. And I have been angry, and there are so many things that I actually want to say, and I'm choosing my words because I really am tiptoeing in my attempt not to hurt anybody, but I'm not willing to put out with being hurt so much anymore. For because of somebody's one, because of it has nothing to do with heart-based emotions or anything. It has everything to do with power and the position and influencing others and the energy, taking over of energy, and separation programs and the contracts that they have with the other side. And as a priestess for the Divine Mother, it is my duty to voice it out, and I'm doing it now in the best way that I can because I am cautious of other actors involved in this. And as the energy that I hold, the container of the love energy, I don't want to allow this energy in these moments to be taken away and stopped from being transmitted the way it has to be. This is not for personal gain, and it has never been for my own personal gain, obviously, but it's not for other people's personal gain and the creation of their reality and the games that they play and whatever crazy scenario that they have in their own head. I'm not participating in the creation of that. And my energy is not to be used and abused. And it has been way too long used for something like that. And I am putting an end to that. And this needs to come out. I want it to come out. I want it to know everything because I want to make an end of it. I want it to stop. And by stopping it, I'm actually releasing all of the actors and giving them the ability to be healed. Given what whatever they decide, that's not up to me anymore. But I'm not going to be pulled back into the trauma cycle because of somebody's whim. Those whims are meant to be healed. And that's all I'm saying here. And if whatever this healing means, I don't know. But there's a whole lot more to this story that I know of the atrocities done to other people. I'm only one of them by the same actors. I don't want to say an actor, but it's all ego-based shit. And this doesn't mean that I am oh so wonderful. I have had lives myself that are not so nice. I've had my not so nice parts, my shadow parts, my corrupt parts, whatever. But I have worked my ass off to retrieve them back and to heal them. And I'm not having anybody mess up with that. Anybody. So, going back to the story of my divine masculine, so I just mentioned it because speaking about my powers, the retrieving of all these powers, I'm speaking about the soul powers, what's in the soul. And such large soul cannot be contained in only one body. It's contained in two. This is why you have twin souls and the soul group. So it's possibly contained in more than two. But, you know, sometimes are not incarnate. And the game of it was, like I said, this is why I started from the Atlantis story, because this corruption and trauma happened there, started there. When we were in unison, we were undefeatable. United we stand, divided we fall. So, and this is why I spoke about how the divine masculine must have felt, because the unhealed issues, when you don't want to look at them in these kind of energies that are, I mean, we just had it's a solstice today. We had it's divine, the divine mother has been coming back for a while, but today it was a big turnover. So these energies have been pushing everything to come to the surface for a while, but now everything will crumble, and whatever you didn't want to see is going to pull you right down under with it, because things will crumble. So you better take a look at some issues and traumas that you have with the corrupt parts and whatever, and reclaim them. You gotta reclaim them. I thought that everything that's been done with all of these actors was also the part of my soul, but they're not. It was about with me, that was my great grandmother. But all the other things are there because my energy has been taken away and siphoned. So with the divine masculine, possibly is also, and part of those powers are possibly not here on earthly plane embodied yet on that side either, because of that, because it's not it's not in somebody's interest to be so. We are not looking at what is in somebody's interest anymore. We are looking at what is in the soul interest and what is in the collective interest now. Maybe this is not this is a collective awakening, and it is done one by one. But when you are a part of 144,000 souls, twin souls, that are here to raise the vibration of the earth and of the collective. They are doing it by raising their own vibration, which means the vibration of each other. Like I spoke before, when one works, it pushes everything straight back to the other side. So you have to, whether you like it or not, it's going to be kicking you in the butt while you don't. I know it's been kicking mine, The great grandmother that I did not know about was kicking my butt all my life. So, where those post-traumatic stress syndrome from those loss stories and stories of loss are still there, and it's written in the heart and in the energy. And when you open your heart, the wounds are going to come out first, so that you heal them. And they are healed in love. They have to be healed in love. So you have to first heal those parts with love. And then you will be able to claim the corrupt parts of yourself. And I spoke about my divine feminine and the group of the divine feminine, the archetypes that the divine, well, I won't say embody, but it's not one person. Like I say, it's not only me. It's not only one being that is embodying that. So about the collective of the divine masculine, it's a collective of 12 archetypes, 12 beings. I'm not talking about people. It's possibly a lot more, and quite possibly 1,4,000 of them. So I don't know who all of them are. I just know what's my part. So but the divine masculine is the archetypes of the divine masculine of my divine counterpart are Emmanuel. It's a manual group. It's a kingdom, actually. That's a heavenly kingdom. And I wasn't quite aware of that for a while, but then I had a client in the group session, and when I said that my guide is Emmanuel, his name is Emmanuel, he asked. He didn't tell me, but he asked during the journey who Emmanuel is, and they told him Emmanuel is well, they didn't say kingdom, but they said it's a dominion. It's a dominion, so it's a kingdom. All of the Emmanuels, of 12 of them, 12, the group of Emmanuels is a group of 12. I think 12, maybe I'm saying something wrong, but that's what I'm getting now. So the Emmanuel group is the Emmanuel, the immortal Nawal. I have a hunch, some feeling that that's the man from the Atlantis. I don't know his name from the Atlantis, but that's me. I don't know anything about him. I possibly should know most, but I don't know very much about him. So then that's Christ, Emmanuel, Yeshua, and Yusuf. Emmanuel. the one that we know is Jesus Christ. And then Sananda, that's him on the higher plane, who is the commander of the Galactic Federation of Light, who is the commander of all of the Galactic Federation of Light. Then there's Ashtar, who is same energy, different being, but same energy. So they're embodying the same energy, the archetype of that energy of the Emmanuel kingdom. And there's Quetzalcoatl, the Mayan deity, Aztec deity, or whatever. I don't know very much about those legends. And then there's Osiris. I forgot to mention in my Serbian video, unrightfully, Osiris was dismembered and killed by his brother. And yeah, as if I'm repeating that story, but and I'm also repeating another story without quite consciously knowing all about it, but I'm discovering all about that myth too, and I'm speaking about that myth through my story. So yeah, there is Osiris, and I'm sure there's more, but I can't remember now because I really I don't know. I'm only discovering that bit. Um, there's Shiva. There's Shiva. I don't know if Krishna is not a part of that energy, but yeah, Shiva definitely is. And that's quite possibly the Ra, but we are all Ra. We are all Ra. So it's what I would the way I understand it, the Ra is higher than the Emmanuel group. So this is where I'm at the moment, and I cannot tell you more about that energy because that was the stream of the last week. This week, honestly, I didn't have the stream because I had many distractions, especially today, and I just I'm not projecting myself again, and I don't like it. I don't really like it because I've started doing that again, and I want my broadcasting of myself, and I don't want this. So yeah, Merlin. I forgot Merlin. Last week I worked with Merlin. And I invoked Merlin. And this is what I'm going to do now. I spoke a little bit longer in this video than because I said some things that I didn't say in my Serbian video. And I'm sorry about that, but I needed to say it. So Merlin is a part of it. He's a higher being. But I invoked Merlin and I allowed Merlin to speak through me because I had a light language transmission and I will have one now too. And I needed to connect more with Merlin because he was a warrior. I was connecting more with a group of people who belong to that energy, and he's the one who's actually doing everything. He was the one who was searching through dimensions and never gave up when looking for his counterpart. And he's sending me information, and some stream that gets here is from him, and the sometimes a bit aggressive stream. And he's not here at the moment. I don't feel him. He's doing other things too. But people usually know him as a grandfather energy, and they see him, and even my clients see him like the Merlin that we know from the cartoons or the Gandalf. But that's not how I know him. That's the Merlin after my story. I know young Merlin, well, younger. He was the one in. I mentioned the dream. I have a recurring dream in my early 20s about a wizard who kind of lost his mind and temper because his wife was killed. and went to live in a cave. That's him. And that's my story from the Avalon when my hands were cut off. He was a warrior then. He was a wizard, but he was a warrior. And he was the one who kind of lost his stripes a bit because you know, he cursed everybody and he sent light from his rod to those who participated in that. And he's been chased around through lifetimes by those beings, and he's been dealing with them ever since, and he's dealing with them again. And he's the one who's unhealed. Well, the young warrior, the part of his heart. But I think Merlin himself is the one who hasn't properly healed from that. So at the moment, at this time, I won't be invoking him to speak through me. I will actually invoke all of them, all the 12 of them, to help him, to encircle him and help him, and give him a royal kick in the royal butt to stop being passive. It's a metaphorical kick. I mean, it's a healing. I want a healing, but I will mostly connect with Nanda, with Christ. He is the monad of this group. I don't know if the Sanat Kumara is in the higher being of this group, a monad of the group, but what I got is that it's Christ, it's Sananda. So I will be allowing him to use me, to use this vessel to send healing, this unhealed part of the group. So whoever is that embodied is embodying this energy now will receive this. So you can imagine the ruby ray. This is the ray that I've been receiving. Well, not recently, well, not this week, but I have been receiving. It's not quite red. It's pink, dark pink, but not. Feminine is a bit different. So you can imagine this. But I will just do a little language transmission because it's more Merlin's thing, but it's the healing for him. Ereshna koyato komea. Ereshna mayata kashuma kateo kora. Tumaya shumaya tumakata. Enakatia shumakero mate shumo. Tunaya korato tishiraka tera. Tikashunaka. Nukanayata unakata tikara shuku rakashunakatera kataya rakatena katiatu shumakatenayata nakarasata rakatitia Turakatakanayata sanakatera kata. Uwaku tushuku makati saketa kakara tishi. Tukakaho akasukamayata. Sukamayata kasunokutura. Sukamaya kasumakaya. Sukamaya nakuma. Sura. Sera kumayata. Sukamaya kasaratesh. Sura kumayata kasira kaya. Sukamayana yata sunum turu to shuru to kora. Eskena kasamaya. Eskena kora. Sukaratesh. Deskanada sunaya. Tiro sunora tora kashana keo. Sukamaya takana kakana. Kenaka. Eskanakate sanakera tuchumakatena. Enakes sanaketa. Sumanakes sanaketara kesarato. Eskera sanaketara kasa. Sakenaya tunayako. Grasetekera sukuma. Murate sekera ketaya. You are summoned. Grasenakete. Korashumana kena. Suraka. Tumayash. Eskarasarako. Tumuskanaya tora. Eskaratera koshumate. Arachana kena. Sumanakete senakete wakanana setekena. Tu manate nakayata. Enakatea kotosunaya. Tenakaya. Enakaya. Tu ayakona. Anayako. Sunaketerate senayaka. Sunayotomayata. Ena. Ichkamayakatera kosa. Mewewe tewa. Towea. Ekata. Ekata. It's a call. It's a call home. And the best that I can do and give for myself now.